a little mix of PhD and SEO updates, so they're mixed together here. But I did want to take a minute to mention some leadership changes here in PSD. I think probably most of you know, but about a month ago now, we are lucky enough to get Dr. Louise Proctor to join us as our new PSD director. She's here as a one-year term position. In that position will be competed sometime over the next year, hopefully to get a permanent person in there. And to thank Dr. Charles Webb, who I hope some of you got to meet at LPSC or AGU, who is now our permanent deputy director. Poor Charles, like the day he started on the job, he actually came in as acting division director and had to serve in that role for several months until we got Louise on board. So appreciate his service, and now he has settled into his deputy role, and I think is very much enjoying being able to move down a step into the place that he was hired for. And then also we have a new director for planetary research, Dr. Kathleen Vanderkaden. So just a few changes to keep you updated on across PSD. Next slide. I know everybody has 1,000 Roses 25 questions, and I have no updates for you other than to tell you we are working on getting it out as soon as we can. I can tell you that analog activities will not be in it. That was not a recent decision. We announced that, I think, at LPSC. Unfortunately, because of all of the work that our team is doing on actually executing Artemis 2 and 3, as well as you know, we have to have appropriate analog activity in order to support for that call, and it doesn't look like we're going to have one, so we are not going to be calling that in Roses 25. We do still very much care about nurturing and growing that particular community, and so we're trying to look for opportunities where we can get folks involved, but it will not be in Roses 25. The Lunar mapping program, however, which we started last year in Roses 24 as a pilot program, we are looking at continuing that program. We are still working our way through the pilot program. I know a number of those folks, it's been slow to get them money. I know that is a problem across the division, and so that's been a little bit slow to spin up, but what they're doing is really cool and interesting. I've been popping my head in to see the progress that team is making, and it's really some cool stuff. So we are hoping to do that again next year, and looking at a different area for a new team to map. We are also looking to get our Artemis 3 participating scientist program up and off the ground. So we're trying real hard to get that call out as soon as we are able. As has come up a couple of times here, we do have the A4 deployed instruments. Those proposals just came in a couple of weeks ago. We are working on getting that review up and running. So looking forward to seeing what came in there. There have been a bunch of questions today about Artemis handheld instruments. Our plan for that is not through Roses. That will actually eventually, we think, come out as an RFP, a request for proposals. In order to get ready to do that, we are expecting to put out an RFI first, and we're hoping to get that RFI out this year. Lunar Data Analysis Program, the Step 1 deadline passed just recently. We got a very healthy response to that, where it was great to see. So we do know that we're going to need some reviewers for that. So if you are interested in helping us out from that perspective, we really appreciate that. There should be a note going up in Sarah if you want to volunteer to help us with LDAP. And then the Survey Can, we've been saying for the last few months that we expected that draft to come out in the spring. We are nearly complete with that draft, but for at least for the time being, that is on hold for now, given the uncertainty and the budget discussions happening. We are not planning to put that draft out anytime soon. Next slide. So just to give you a quick reminder of where we are with these lunar surface science workshops. When I opened the session today, I said we've been doing these. You know, we sort of in the beginning we were doing them like once or twice a month. We have slowed down now to a sort of reasonable pace of about 4-ish a year. We had 4 last year, including a similar sort of updates from headquarters as well. We planned for 4 this year. We already had one in April on science with pressurized rover, which we'll get an outbrief from Ryan on later today. Today we're here for this update from headquarters one. We do have 2 more planned, including we've already talked about, as Barb was talking about, this early lunar basin chronology landing site workshop, which we're very excited about. We're also hoping to get another one this summer in on Artemis orienteering and geolocation. So keep your eyes peeled for updates on those and dates. Next slide. I do want to remind everybody that the implementation plan for a NASA integrated lunar science strategy in the Artemis era, no, it's a really long title, was released. Finally, it was released last fall. We super appreciate the community feedback we got from the community. There's a QR code there if you want to go and find the document. It is up and available. Please read it. A reminder that this is intended to be a living document and that it will be continuously updated on a sort of roughly 2-year cadence. But if you want an update on where we're at and what we're thinking about, this is the place to go. I feel like a professor being like, it's in the syllabus. I'm just like running around all the time being like, it's in the implementation plan. Go read the implementation plan. So please go read the implementation plan. Next slide. And my favorite part of the implementation plan, right, is the very last section of it when we talk about next steps. In my mind, this is sort of my report card, my commitment to the community about the things that we are doing, so that the next iteration of the plan we can make progress towards things. And so here's how I feel like I'm doing on this report card. And I think I'm actually doing pretty well, considering that it only came out in the fall. We've done a number of these things. So we did a short study with JPL looking at endurance rover concept. We've got a few other things we're working with JPL on those things on. We developed the South Pole Lake and Basin sample return science definition team. Again, you're going to hear from Lauren later today on how that's going. Conducting a pre-phase A study on LEXO. We worked with Goddard to do that. They are still looking at a few things to try and help us buy down risk on getting ready for whatever is going to follow on LRO when we have that opportunity. We requested a joint League XMEG study on an Artemis sample. It's actually a pretty big study, including 3 separate panels on volatiles samples, nominal samples, and sample data. 2 of those are complete, the volatile and nominal sample ones, and the sample data one unfortunately got held up in our ag freeze the last couple months, but we recently got permission to start that back up again. So thank you to Tim and his team. We expect to get that study completed in the next few weeks. Great. The National Academy study, as I said, kicking off today. We're very excited about that to get that up and running. Continuing activities, we do continue to engage the community on sort of the annual updates to the Moon Mars architecture definition documents. That is a continuing conversation we are having with the community, as well as these lunar surface science workshops. Jake talked about how critical these are in order to get the direct feedback that we need to work into the architecture and develop systems that will actually enable us to do the science that we want to do. We've been working with the USGS to sort of understand geologic mapping. This is LMAP is part of this. It is the first step in that process, and so I'm excited to see how that is coming along and what it is teaching us about how to do better mapping for human exploration. And conducting a lunar geophysical network payload study. This is something we are in the works with Goddard on right now, is looking at how and what is it feasible to do a sort of CLIPS-based approach to geophysical network. So happy to see that study moving along. The one and only thing that's not started yet is the follow-on National Academy study that we are doing in series, not in parallel. So we won't start working on that until this current study is complete. So that's why it's not started, not because we're lazy. And I think that is my last slide. So I will turn it back over to Amanda.